Now let's do a quick refresher of the tiers. Okay, so your B tier are going to be brawlers that are map and comp dependent. These are the brawlers that I don't really recommend playing with randoms. They are definitely the best to play with teams. A tier brawlers are ones that are great on most maps and even in most team comps. They're okay to play with randoms, but even better than that is going to be your S tier brawlers, which are excellent on almost every single map with almost any other comp. And these are the best options to play if you are going to be jumping into that solo queue and playing with randoms. Brawlers that are not shown are not considered competitive for a specific game mode, and this is based on a competitive meta. So if you are lower in the trophies, this will be incredibly helpful for you, but do understand and recognize that the meta might be slightly different than what you're used to seeing, because not all new players have all of the brawlers to play with. Next, we have Heist, where Bull is moving from the A tier up into the golden S tier position. Leon is starting in the S tier position. El Primo is moving all the way from non-ranked up into the A tier. Crow and Spike are both moving from the S tier down into the A tier. Daryl is moving all the way from the S tier down into the B tier, and Nita is moving from the A tier into the B tier. Being removed from the competitive Heist tier list is going to be Ricochet, Terra, and Shelly. With the super long super of Daryl being totally reworked, Bull now has the longest charge in the game, but also he can break walls, which gives access to that safe for a lot of other brawlers that can attack from a distance. Leon is starting in the S tier. One of my favorite things with Leon is the fact that you can actually just sneak up on the enemy safe if the enemy team is not paying attention to where you're at. He can also deal a ton of damage to a safe with just his regular attack, which makes him very versatile in Heist. El Primo is moving from the non-ranked position up into the A tier. There are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, you have wider maps, which makes it a lot easier for him to use the walls to try and get up close to the enemy safe, but also because of the way that the respawn has actually changed for defense in Heist, where he will now respawn very, very close up to the safe, so that if there is an enemy brawler that is close, he can use his invincibility shield to quickly get rid of anybody that is right there. His jump is also very, very long, which allows him to get up close to that safe, and if you use it right, you can also break down some walls as well, similar to Bull. A little bit less consistent, but still a very solid option. Both Crow and Spike are being moved from the S tier into the A tier. This is because Leon is just such a strong replacement for both of them. Crow just cannot keep up with Leon, whether it's from a distance or up close, and Leon's burst potential is even better than Spike's. Not to mention the fact that both Crow and Spike have such low HPs, while Leon has a lot more survivability than both of them. Daryl is moving from the S tier down into the B tier. Bull is just a better option in Heist in general. Nita is also moving from the A tier into the B tier, because we found that while she did used to work a little bit, the recent balance changes have basically shifted the meta to a point where Nita just doesn't do as well as she used to. Ricochet and Shelly are both being removed from the Heist tier list. They both have one map that they are decent on, but even on those one maps, there are better brawlers for you to be playing on them, and we just felt like we couldn't justify keeping either of them on there. Terra as well, we found that Terra just wasn't consistent enough on Heist to be able to keep her in the competitive tier list. Up next, we have the Brawl Ball tier list, which is going to have Terra as the golden S tier brawler, Leon starting in the S tier, Frank, Nita, and Mortis moving from the S tier down into the A tier, and then Colt, Pam, and Shelly moving from the B tier up into the A tier. Daryl is moving from non-ranked up into the S tier, and Poco is moving from the A tier down into the B tier. Being removed from the Brawl Ball competitive tier list is going to be Penny and Ricochet. Terra is starting out with the golden S tier position. The thing with Brawl Ball is it is all about creating opportunities for one of your teammates to score a goal, and Terra does that better than any other brawler in the game. Leon is also starting out in the S tier for Brawl Ball. Is there any game mode that he's not doing that with? There is no other brawler that can get increased movement speed while they are carrying the ball. Frank is moving down into the A tier. This is greatly due to the fact that Leon is just so incredibly strong, and he does such a great job at countering Frank. This is also true for Nita and Mortis. Mortis is still a very strong option for a very, very incredibly top tier Mortis player. But with Leon in the meta, who is such a hard counter to Mortis, there's just no way that we could justify keeping him in the S tier any longer. Colt is moving up into the A tier with his recent buff. He's able to deal more damage, which allows him to offer a lot more control. Pam is moving up into the A tier as well because of her added survivability and her ability to deal with Leon, even just like solo. And Shelly's also moving up into the A tier for a couple different reasons. One of the biggest reasons is the fact that she can take out a Leon if she uses a super and Leon isn't expecting it. But we've also seen that Shelly can consistently be played well, very well in Brawl Ball, especially now that the distance between goals is a lot shorter. Daryl is a lot more versatile than he used to be, which is why he's moving from the non-ranked up into the B tier, and Poco is moving down into the B tier because his damage per second is just so low that he's not as consistent as he used to be. Now where the goals are a lot closer, Poco just kind of falls off a little bit. Still a good option, just not the best. Penny and Ricochet are being removed from the competitive tier list. They just have lower DPS than is needed, and with wider walls, Ricochet just is not as consistent as he used to be.